Hello, and welcome back to Where Our Minds Take Us. This is your host, Isaac, bringing you one of our first mini episodes. And today I have on our guest speaker, or co host, Mckayla, who happens to also be my girlfriend. Mckayla, what are we talking about today?
Hello. So today we are going to do some relationship cards, and they are 101 conversation starters for couples. And this game was developed by the marriage expert Gary Chapman, who also wrote The Five Love Languages. So that should be pretty interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's just start it off, huh?
Start the first card. Okay. First one. If you were to adopt a child from another country, which country would it be? Oh, that's interesting.
I guess I'll go first.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would probably just adopt from here in the United States.
Why is that?
I mean, I feel like there's plenty of like children without homes that need families here in our own country. So it doesn't really make sense to me to go outside the country, looking for other people.
Yeah, I think that brings up a pretty interesting topic where as it's a great thing that people adopt from different countries, but what about the foster system in America and how there's kids that need homes that aren't getting homes because we're going elsewhere. So I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I just say like start with your community, and I mean local if you can, but I mean the United States is our community in the general sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about people who adopt outside the country because they're not doing anything wrong. Those children need to be adopted just as much as anyone else. But
and they have their heart is in the right place, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of a fad. It's kind of a
especially I
jump
think
on the bandwagon. Let's adopt a kid from somewhere else.
Yeah, I think especially with churches. I know a lot of people from my
Right.
church.
Yeah, and how many children, just in that church's community probably need adopted or need help in some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they do some stuff, but
yeah. And that brings a whole other topic that we probably shouldn't even get into because we could probably talk about this for hours. But
okay.
I think we should go to the next question. So I'll have you read it off.
Okay. Let's see here. The circus act that most reminds me of my job is. Okay, you first on this one since I went first on the last one.
Oh no. Probably a whole bunch of flying monkeys.
Flying monkeys? Is that a circus act?
Well, everybody, I'm sure you guys don't know,
I'm pretty sure that was just Wizard of Oz, babe.
Well, it's a thing. Maybe, I don't know. But I go to beauty school and I also work with children. So when you're around a whole bunch of girls, you could all say they're pretty squirrely. And then a whole bunch of kids, they're pretty crazy too.
So what's worse, the kids or the girls?
Ooh, definitely probably the girls.
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
I imagine the kids are a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, a lot less drama, I'd say.
Right.
But I mean, they're probably a little bit less good at sharing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess for me to answer that question, I'm like the ticket bitch, or maybe like the ticket bitch. People come in and they're like, "This is what I want," and then I give it to them. And I can't say anything about it. So, and if I say something, then they're gonna bonk me on the head or something.
Yeah, that's a good depiction of what it's like.
I don't know.
All right. Next one. When you were growing up, where did your family go on vacations? Describe one of those vacations.
Okay, you can go first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have honestly traveled my whole life. I've gone to many different places. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to many different states, actually. And
Okay, so what was your favorite place?
Ooh, my favorite. Growing up or recently?
Just throughout your entire life. Both.
Well, there was one that I went on with you. That was a lot of fun. We went on a cruise to Mexico.
I guess I said both, but we should probably stick to growing up since that was the question. I don't think that one counts, although that one was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
For those of you that don't know, we went to Mexico on a cruise last December. It was a good time.
It was a good time. I liked it. And I've been on another cruise. That was really fun. And I think probably just going on road trips. Those are a lot of fun. They all have their own experiences. It's really crazy when you travel with my dad.
Yep.
He definitely brings a lot of character to our trip. So no trip is ever the same.
Okay, so what was your favorite still, though?
My favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in the there's one trip I went on, and it was a girls trip, but it was with my family. It was with my cousin, my aunt, and me, and we went and we visited my mom's old hometown, and she looks like this white little old, not old lady, but she looks like a white little blonde lady, and she just goes.
So like Angela from The Office.
Yeah, she's she's very just. Her outside does not match her inside. On the inside she is gangster. She will go from 0 to 100 real quick. And so it's pretty fun to see her in her element because that part of her was really cool to see from where she lived. And we got to visit, the grave site of her grandpa. And I don't know, we just had a fun girls trip, I guess.
Sounds like a fun time.
One of my favorite times. Yeah, what about you?
So I grew up and my family didn't go on a lot of vacations and we just didn't have a lot of money. But I know we actually went to Hawaii one time when I was like, I think 5th grade. But the funny thing about that trip was we stayed with my stepdad's friend, and he was like an officer in the Army, I believe. And he was so tired. He was like on his leave time. He was so tired he didn't want to do anything. So we spent most of our time just sitting around at his house. And it was probably one of the most boring vacations I've ever been on.
But that's still pretty cool that you got the opportunity to be in a different place.
Yeah, it was interesting. But I got to say my favorite one wasn't really one. And some people might not consider it a vacation. But I always loved going to – we would have family reunions in – usually the summer, like around July. I think usually we do them around 4th of July. And my great-grandparents, they lived in Southern Oregon. So we'd go on a road trip down there. And, all my family and extended family would show up. And they lived out in the woods. And, when I was like 8, 9 years old, it was just awesome because it's like all my cousins are there and we'd go explore and we'd, there's a pond, and our uncle would take us catch frogs and lizards, and one of my uncles would always do magic tricks, but he'd never explain how you do them, and drive me nuts, and I try to figure it out. So yeah, I think those family reunions were some of my favorite, like, I guess, summertime vacations. Closest thing to vacation we did.
That sounds fun. That's a good thing to look forward to. All right, next question. I'll let you read this one. This one should be interesting.
Okay. Can you recall a first date during which you immediately knew there would not be a second date? It was me?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't want to see you no more.
Uh-oh.
No.
This has been the longest first date I've ever been on in my life.
I'm sure. No, so there was a point in my life where I just went on a whole bunch of dates, and I'd say there's some pretty interesting ones, and I'd say I couldn't really pick one specifically, but there's one that comes to mind, and I went on a first date with this guy from Tinder. And there was something about it where before I'd even met him, I got really freaked out, and I thought.
So why'd you go still?
I don't know. I just had a really bad feeling in my brain, or I don't know. I didn't feel right.
Just a little advice. Usually, if you have a really bad feeling, maybe you shouldn't do it.
Exactly, and I probably shouldn't.
It's like that survival instinct kicking in.
So I started off, and I went. I told my friend and my mom where I was going, so because I knew that there's a bad feeling. So this guy shows up, and we go to this pizza place, and it's more like an Italian restaurant, and he buys us a whole pizza.
Okay. Sounds good so far.
And it goes okay, and but then he starts telling me that he's into some hardcore drugs.
Oh, it's always a good good lead when you're on a first date.
Mind you, before we'd even gone on a date, he said he was some good little Christian boy who wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
And then he told me on the date that he wasn't, and that he was looking for one night stands. And
you know what?
Anyone knows me, I'm not like that.
I always feel like, the best way to proceed on a first date is to, just completely go against everything you told the person that you were like.
Yep.
Just completely, I like to just flip the table and keep people guessing.
Oh, that's a great strategy right there. But no, it ended, and then here's where it got really uncomfortable. So he followed me back to my car.
Okay.
And
creepy.
He wanted to hang out more, and I had a feeling like this guy just wants more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he sits in the passenger seat of my car, and he starts trying to make out with me.
Okay. That was nice of him to invite himself in.
On the first date. And I'm not the type of girl who kisses on the first date. You gotta wait, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And he just goes for it, and I say I'm uncomfortable, and it's so awkward, and he just leaves.
Okay. I gotta say props to this guy. He had some big balls because he, pulled some really risky moves there. As far as telling you he was one way and then showing up and being a different way. Just going in for the kiss.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, has that worked for him in the past? What was his game plan there? Was he just winging it?
Well, I think it probably has. I think he wasn't really looking for a long-term relationship, if you know what I mean. So yeah. I think maybe just going for it can work with some girls, but not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you? Have you gone on any?
Unfortunately, I'm boring, and I can't really say I have. I wish I did. I wish I had an interesting story to tell. But
that's okay.
Excuse me. Oh man. Sorry, I had a couple beers and it's giving me indigestion. Yeah, I haven't really dated people unless I was certain that I wanted to, or I was fairly certain that they were someone that I wanted to meet.
That's pretty good.
So I guess we can just move on to the next one.
All right.
What do we got?
So here's the next one. You want to read it or you want me?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
If you were offered the opportunity to be one of the contestants in Survivor, would you do it? If yes, what do you imagine would be the hardest thing for you to cope with? So, Survivor, I mean, that was kind of like a reality show. It was mostly fake, right?
I heard that, but I feel like it would still be kind of a difficult thing to do.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the show well enough to know what would be the most difficult part.
Well, I actually used to watch it, and they survive, and then they do
challenges, right?
And then they get voted. They vote for each other to get voted off. And then the last one.
See, I think that would probably maybe be the hardest part, was just
getting people to like you.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, fuck you guys, I'm doing my own thing.
Right.
And then they wouldn't like me.
If they're just going to vote each other off, then what's the point of even surviving, right?
So in reality, it's not really a Survivor. It's more like a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say that's the most difficult part for you as well, or?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, because I don't really feel like the rest of it would be super difficult, since from what I understand, most of it is pretty like kind of staged.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really reality show.
Well, I also feel like most of them are pretty in shape, so that's probably got to count for something, right?
That's true. I'd probably be like dying out of breath.
You and me both.
I like walk up the stairs at work sometime. It's like the most cardio I get for like weeks. It's actually getting bad because it's getting to the point where I walk by the elevator and I look at it and I'm like, should I take the elevator? I'm like, no, that's pathetic.
Oh no. Always take the stairs, right?
Yeah. So are we going on to the next one then?
Okay. Yes. If you were given 5 acres of land, where would you want it to be and what would you want to do with it?
Oh man. You go first.
I
gotta think about this.
I feel like this is definitely a question up your alley, but I think one thing I would really love to do is probably just own a big piece of land with probably a garden and animals. I love animals. Probably a horse.
Okay.
And maybe some sheep and something boring. Maybe just put a big house on it with a porch and
wraparound porch.
Of course.
And a swing set.
Every girl's dream.
But like one of those swing sets that's like a big bench.
The cute ones that you can see the sunset with and drink an iced tea.
You could have 2 people on it.
Hot summer day. Yeah, that sounds like a dream of mine. And preferably with a really, really nice kitchen.
I thought you were going to say with a really hot guy.
That too.
Okay. I mean, I kind of already know. Like, sort of, kind of. I would probably buy land like maybe in Eastern Oregon or like if I wanted to stay real local. If I didn't want to stay local, maybe like Alaska. But I'd already been looking at land in Eastern Oregon. It was a little chunk parcel of government. Well, the government was selling the land, and it was surrounded by BLM land. So I was like, well, it'd be cool to like buy that, and it was just undeveloped. There's nothing on it, and you could just build like a little log cabin and use that as like a hunting cabin. It'd be like kind of your base of operation. You could go hunt in the area around it, but that's kind of what I would do with that. I'd probably, or maybe if I want to be more practical, I'd just buy it somewhere nearby and put a house on it.
Yeah.
That's probably, realistically, that's probably the better idea, but yeah, I like to fantasize.
That's okay. That sounds like a really good idea. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. So it says, if money or child care were no object, would you be, or what would be your idea of the perfect New Year's Eve? And I thought this one was perfect because I think we should discuss how our New Year's Eve was this year.
Hey, I had a good time at our New Year's Eve.
It was interesting.
It was interesting. That means she doesn't like it.
Well, it was good. I just think it's...
Which is it? Is it good or bad?
It started off interesting and it ended really interesting.
Yeah? Is that how you want to describe it?
Yeah, I'd say we all probably had a little bit too much to drink.
Yeah, I made that throw-up juice, so that was fun.
And I can truthfully tell you that it was throw-up juice because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, it was
at the end of the
night. I was there. I didn't throw up, but I was pretty much there.
We had some friends hanging off the
balcony,
and
yeah, there's some interesting pictures of that out there. It looks like he's about to die.
Yep.
There's just a black abyss below him.
Oh man.
Oh, that was funny.
That was really funny.
But yeah, I passed out at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, I had fun still.
It was fun.
It's occasionally fun to get, pretty. It's okay to overdo it from time to time.
And I've never been, I'm 21, so I've never been I haven't really drinking that much to the point where I've actually gotten sick or actually blacked out. But, it was an experience and it was the first time.
I can't say the same thing about myself.
Well, we were in the Marine Corps, so that makes sense.
We drank beer like it was water, pretty much.
It runs in your veins.
But you still didn't answer what would be your ideal New Year's Eve. How would you have improved that night? Obviously, probably by not throwing up. That would be one way.
I mean, I think next time maybe going to I don't know, maybe going out to dinner and having just a night in of like me and you and sitting next to the TV and
Yeah.
just, I don't know, snuggling and
Watching the ball drop.
Just something casual instead of a big rager party with a throw up juice. That probably would have been a lot more ideal. But
yeah. See, I want a bigger party with more throw up juice.
No thanks.
No, I regretted my decisions the next morning. I felt pretty awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the most joyful person you know? Me, obviously.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's completely true. Not a lie at all.
No. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Who's the most joyful person you know? That's a hard thing to answer. Yeah, I have to think about that too.
I think for me, the most joyful people I know are probably the old ladies at my church, or probably the old ladies that I work with at the salon. They come in every single week, and I do their little roller sets, and they're just sweet and caring, and they don't really have much care in the world because they're all retired, and they're great old ladies, joyful, and
right.
Yeah.
I guess I would say probably, I don't know. There's a couple people at work. There's one guy named, I'm not going to name names, but he's real friendly, but my cynical ass, I'm like, oh, why is he so friendly? I'm like, I don't trust this guy. He's too friendly.
Yeah.
Our front desk lady, she's really friendly too. I feel like you kind of got to be real friendly. You know who's really joyful?
Who is?
Oh, the cat's on the counter. Hey, get down. Anyways, you know who was really joyful was the cruise director for our cruise to Mexico.
It's Emma.
Yeah, she was English. It was very.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder, like,
her life.
Is she like that all the time?
Like,
or is that just a show?
She has to be on 24/7. I don't know how she does it. She does it from, what did she say, like 6 a.m. all the way to like 10 p.m. at night, and then she'd have to wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Something crazy like that. I
don't even know if it'd be worth the money because you'd be doing it all day, every day.
And do they even make that good of money?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I wonder what their time off is like, though. It could maybe be worth it if you had big chunks of time off.
Well, and it would definitely be hard because remember how she said she was also married to another cruise director who was on a different ship. So
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Your schedule. How would you get your schedules? Actually, I remember her saying, because we went to that show where she talked about herself.
Yeah.
And did she say that the company aligns their
vacation time together? Yeah. So
still, that's crazy. Cool. Yeah. Talk about long distance. He was on the other side of the United States too, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Didn't she say he was over in the Atlantic?
Really?
I thought so. Because we were over in the Pacific. We were down on this side of Mexico, Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta and Cabo.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
Yeah. Anyways, excuse me. Complete this sentence. It would make me a better person if I were more like you in the way you.
Oh, this is a good one.
So, like me and you?
So, what is one way that we would be a better person if we were? How would you say it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. What are the good qualities about each other that would make us a better person?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well,
you can't ask me for the answer.
I definitely think we're a lot different people in some ways, and I think that we both have strengths that the other could really benefit from.
Yeah, I'm far stronger.
Physically. But I think you have a good way of seeing things rationally, whereas I go off of a lot of emotions.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's a good strength of yours. You don't get triggered as easily as I can be.
You kind of have to have a little bit of thick skin in the military, Marine Corps, but I imagine it's across all services.
I would think so.
Yeah, if I was easily offended, I would have been having a really hard time.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go in.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that.
For me, I would just say, it comes to mind just like you're very you're very maternal, I guess, for lack of a better word. You're very loving and kind and selfless. I think definitely selfless. I could probably be a little more selfless. I tend to focus on myself more than I probably should, which I don't think doing it some is bad, but at a certain point it could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of what I would say about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
You want to move on?
Yeah. Oh, this is a deep one. I don't know. Should we talk about it?
Sure, why not? When in your life would you say your self-esteem was the lowest?
Ooh, this is a topic right here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to start it off?
Okay, sure. Honestly, I would say probably my freshman year of high school.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a long time ago.
This is pretty personal, but whatever. I'll get into it. It's over. It's in the past. At the time, I'd been going to Cascade High School prior to that, and then I went to a new school my freshman year because we had moved. And when we went to this new school, I was pretty excited about it. I was just really excited. I was excited to kind of start new, clean slate. And I thought, well, I'll get a chance to kind of make a name for myself. That was what I was thinking in my head. But we went there, and it wasn't fun. It was bad. The people there were really cliquey. They were not friendly. They were mean to me. I didn't really have any friends there. Like, I had a couple of acquaintances, and I had friends from my old school, and I was fairly close to where I used to go to school, so I could still see those friends on like the weekend or after school if I wanted to. But just like being at that school was just draining to me, and it really destroyed my self-esteem. I was just like, well, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make friends here? And I mean, ultimately, there's nothing wrong with me. They're just mean people. It's kind of how life is at that age. And, I kind of learned from it, and I moved on. And then I went back to my old school after that. And things got a lot better.
Yeah.
I think I still carried like some self-esteem issues for a while after that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those were tied to like I was a real skinny kid back then. So I was always kind of like self-conscious about how small I was.
Yeah.
I felt weak, and I was weak. That's the thing. It wasn't actually completely in my head. It kind of was true. I was small and skinny and weak, but it really affected how I saw myself and my confidence in myself. But you learn, you grow up, and I grew out of it.
Yeah.
It's not something I think about anymore, and obviously I'm not skinny anymore. So
you're pretty big, huh?
Yeah, I got a big belly, that's for sure.
No, you got some big arms.
Yeah, big arms and a big belly.
That's okay, I like it. Well, I think...
okay, there's that.
Well, I think self-esteem for me has been my whole life a struggle, and I think Isaac knows that because we've been... I've just talked to him about it, but I think throughout my whole life, I've been overweight, and I've always seen myself as really...
I mean, you're not overweight now.
Yes, but I was a pretty big girl.
I mean, she'd like to think she's overweight now, but she's not.
And I think that's another whole issue that I have now is maybe some sort of body dysmorphia or something. But I get bullied a lot for being bigger, and I just felt really undesirable because you see a lot of these girls, and at this point I was always working out all the time, but I think it's just the things I was eating and not being very knowledgeable and knowing like how to lose the weight. And then I've also had some emotional struggles where it made it hard for me to you know, I would find food as a comfort. And so then I kind of had to push through that, and I had to realize there's this one Bible verse that I read, and it was, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." And it wasn't until last year that I had read this verse at work. And then I realized, it doesn't matter what people think of me, and I just need to feed my body in a way that um, makes makes me feel good for myself and makes me healthy. So obviously I've lost a lot of weight from then, and I still have my days, but I don't think it's ever. I think self-esteem is something that you'll have your low days of, and you just gotta push through it.
So do you think like you've recovered from that, or is that still something you struggle with?
I think it's something I struggle with for sure.
Okay.
And I think any girl my age could probably say the same thing.
Do you have like any ideas of how you overcome that?
How I've overcome it?
Or how you could?
How I could?
How have you?
Well,
I guess you said with that verse.
Yeah, that verse. I think trusting in God. I don't know. Not everyone believes in God, but also maybe just talking self-love to yourself, and instead of putting yourself down, find something that uplifts your soul and your personality, and have people surround you who love you and can help you through things. Maybe even find a counselor, find somebody to talk to, your therapist. I went to a therapist and she was absolutely awful, didn't help me at all. But some help, and if that's what you need to do, I think that's a great option. So yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
Okay, you can go ahead and read the next if you want.
Okay, let's see. Well, there's a lot of weird ones. Oh, name 3 jobs or careers you are definitely not suited for.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I would cry.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that were in there that probably shouldn't have been in there.
You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Like people like me? I'm pretty emotional.
People like you. You could probably get through it. The thing about Marine Corps boot camp and stuff is, it's the big leap is just joining. Once you're in boot camp, you're stuck.
There's nothing you can do about it.
No, you have to do it. The only way you're getting out is if you break yourself really bad or have some serious mental breakdown.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get out of it. And even if like something bad happens, like say you break your foot, they'll just put you in like med platoon or whatever, and then you sit around while you heal for a few months, and then you pick back up with the next training platoon or company.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm staying away.
Yeah, then that's how you spend like 2 years in boot camp. I don't know if that's possible. I know there's guys that have been in boot camp for quite some time because of that. They go in, they get hurt, they get put in the medical holding, and then they put them back through.
Well, I probably would talk my way out of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Talk your way out of what?
Or maybe cry my way out of it.
I don't think that would work.
Ugh.
Plenty of people cried.
All right.
If you want to make your life worse there, you can cry.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't
learn real quick not to cry.
Okay, so what's a job that you're not suited for, do you think?
Okay. Are we just going like shot for shot?
Yeah.
Okay. What am I not suited for? Probably doing IT.
What? No.
Which is what I do.
You're great at it, I think.
I'm not saying I'm bad at it. I'm just saying it doesn't suit me very well, but that's all right. I'm doing it to pay bills, so sometimes you do things just to pay bills, right?
Oh, yeah. I think so, but I think you should also go for something that, your heart is desiring. And
yeah, it's not that bad. I'm making it sound worse than it is, but
yeah,
it's not something that I like enjoy superbly. Like it's not my passion in life or anything crazy like that.
And you'll get there. I think you just need to find that passion, and I support you.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, and I think another job that I'm not suited for is probably like a beekeeper, because I'm pretty sure that I'm allergic to bees.
Okay, that's a good reason not to be a beekeeper.
Yeah, I got stung once, and my whole leg swelled up.
Yeah, you should probably stay away from them then.
So, I really don't know if I'm allergic.
I guess that puts the nail in the coffin for your beekeeping.
I know, career.
Your career, your dreams.
Ugh, shucks.
Yeah, that's too bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think you can find something else though.
Maybe.
Oh, excuse me.
You're a little burpy today, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Do you really want to?
We're not done with
You want to keep going? Okay.
Yeah, we got 3 each. So you name 2, I name 1.
Okay, keep going. Okay, you're next.
I will. I just had one on my mind, and I've already forgotten. What was I going to say?
Another one?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say pretty much anything in the medical field.
Why is that?
I just don't think I would like it.
Do you not like blood? Are you like one of those people?
No, I don't mind blood. I just don't really feel like, putting people's bones back together and their guts.
I think that sounds really interesting.
Ugh,
and I really
gross.
I love poking people with needles.
This thing, I don't have any problem with say dressing or gutting an animal like a deer, but something about working on a live human, it just makes me cringe. I couldn't do it. I don't think I'd like it. Maybe I could. Who knows? I guess can't knock it till I try it, right? Yeah. Maybe I should go become a nurse. A male nurse.
Hey, you'd be a pretty hot male nurse there.
Yeah, would I? With my beer belly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the last career that's definitely not made for me would be, I don't know. Probably I wouldn't want to be, a mathematician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do math for the life of me.
No?
No, I'm really bad at it.
That's fair. I can't do math very well either.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that I'm interested in.
That was one of my weakest subjects as well.
Yeah.
When I was in school. I guess for me, I would say for my last one, I could say mathematician too, but I'll be unique and say something different. I'll say beautician. So if you're listening and you don't know, Mckayla is going to beauty school right now. So she's good at that stuff. I wouldn't be.
I would say I'm the more artistic one, and you're more of the matter of fact.
Yeah, matter of fact. That's all it is.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't do stuff like that, obviously. It's kind of a joke, but...
I think that's one good thing, though, about us, is that we are different.
Yeah, except we both suck at math.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
It could be a problem.
You might as well just break up now.
Yeah, because if we're ever married and we have to do bills, we're screwed.
Well, I'd say that you're maybe just a little bit better at math, so I'll let you do that.
Oh, thanks for the honors of being a little bit better.
You're welcome.
I think you're a lot better than math.
You think I'm better at math?
Yeah, I'm dumb. I guess you gotta do them.
If you're dumb and worse than me, then yeah,
we're screwed.
We need some help.
Okay, what's the next topic?
Let's see here.
Ooh, do that one.
Okay. What non-biblical historical event would you like to have witnessed?
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Before we start this one, are we in this time period? Do we have, so say we were in a war zone. Could we just witness it, or would we have to be in it and have...
Let's just keep it specific to what they're saying. So just witness. You're there, but you're not an actor in it.
So kind of like a ghost.
Sure. Yeah, think of it that way. Cool. You're kind of viewing it, but not affected by it.
I'll let you go first on this one because I'm sure you know.
Oh man, see, that's the problem here is there's so many of them. I don't know if I could name one.
You do like your history.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, kind of cliche, but like just World War II, that'd be crazy just to see that in person. I can't even begin to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much any of the major wars. I definitely would have liked to see like just the Roman Empire at its peak, maybe right around when right after Julius Caesar took over, or even during his time, just to be able to see what that was actually like in person. Now I can't imagine. It blows my mind thinking about it. Be crazy. Be the coolest thing ever. I'd cut off my leg to see that. I wouldn't do that, but
that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of other things too. Like, I think just seeing like the American frontier during the early mid 1800s would be really awesome too. Yeah. Just to see what that was actually like.
That's pretty cool.
Which actually, that's that's kind of another some more podcasts that I plan on getting into is kind of the American frontier and how the settlers moving west interacted with the Native Americans during that time. I think there's a lot of interesting content to talk about there.
Yeah, that sounds like something that everyone should be tuning in on for sure in the near future.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I would want to witness would probably be historical event. What event? Yeah, I think maybe the wars, but like not being in the war, but maybe experiencing what it was like back home. Maybe like, the 50s or something would be cool too.
So like during the Korean War?
No, just like, I don't know. I like that time period. I think it's interesting about kind of the roles and
what do you mean?
Just how women kind of picked up the slack, I guess, back home when their husbands were away. I think that's kind of interesting.
You mean you mean like how they were working for factories while they were away at war.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they also had their own families.
That definitely would have been more relevant in the 40s during World War II.
Oh, see, you know more than I do.
It's okay.
I sound stupid, but
no, okay. It's fine. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of it during the Korean War. I don't know to what extent, but the Korean War just wasn't as large scale as World War II was.
Although I also think that a lot of the times, that was very romanticized.
The war?
Yeah, during, today's time, we see a lot of movies about, women falling in love with, some guy and
some sailor,
whatever. War. Yeah, and
well, I think that idea that romanticization, I can't speak.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of that idea actually, it was something kind of romanticized in that time period as well.
Was it?
Oh yeah, it was. I guess you could say propaganda. It was kind of the right thing to do. I mean, I think it was probably World War II. Not probably. World War II definitely was, because just the situation with Nazi Germany. It was an evil regime, and they wanted to conquer countries and kill people and murder innocents and whatnot. But even like World War I and prior to that, just the idea of like the woman, the wife, staying at home while her brave man goes to fight a war and comes back a hero. That was kind of a what would you call that? I guess cliche, or not cliche, but
yeah, it's cliche.
I mean, it is cliche, but there's a word for that. I'm just losing it. But yeah, it was kind of what people and this was before. You got to think, this was before internet. This was before telephones were in their infancy. Planes are brand new.
Well, it's actually
people just didn't know the reality of war.
Well, I know a lot of old ladies that I do their little roller sets at school, and they've married a lot of guys who were in, in the wars back then, and they love their husbands.
Well,
And,
sure. I'm sure they do.
I think a lot of their stories sounded, like one of those love stories. And so I think that can help happen to some people.
Yeah, but that's, what is it? That's survivor's bias or whatever. Confirmation. Survivor's bias, I think. Yeah. Or survivor confirmation. I'm not sure what the term is there. Because you're getting the stories of the ones who lived through it. You're not getting the stories of the, husbands that never came home.
Yeah, that must have been tough.
And there's a lot of those.
There's more of those.
Not more. There was more that came home. There was. Yeah. But there was a lot that didn't.
Yeah, well then you have to think, they came home, but how messed up was it afterwards?
Yeah, and again, I mean, even in that war, it's a small percentage. If you look at the statistics, it's like only a small percentage, even in large wars like that, are actually in combat, see serious combat. And of that percentage that sees combat, only a percentage die. Some amount of them get injured, and then some of them get out unscathed. And then a lot of times the ones that get out unscathed, they have some sort of survivor guilt.
Mental problems, mental issues.
I wouldn't just say mental issues. It seems a little cold, but it definitely messes them up.
Yeah, and they have issues mentally.
Well, yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's an awful thing. There's not a lot to romanticize about it. You just get the happy stories out of it.
Although I do love watching the war movies with the love interests.
Oh no, everyone does. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people do.
Probably
There's a reason they're popular.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I think we should wrap this up. It's been
okay.
Around, but
that was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do this again next time.
Yeah, like I said, another WOM 2 Minisode.
Awesome. We'll see you later.
All right. Thank you for listening. Take care and tune in for our next episode.
Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram, WOMTU, WOMTU. And then also you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yeah, do it.
Alrighty.
Bye.